Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's Rachel here from Makers Gonna Learn, your ultimate die cutting community. If you do not know who we are or what we do, click the very first link in the description below to learn everything that you're missing by not being a member. We have over 1,400 digital cut files, 250 fonts, and both of those numbers are growing every single month. We have free printable guides, access to a members only Facebook group, free commercial licensing, and so much more. Definitely check out the membership to see everything that we have to offer. In today's video, we're going to be going over an awesome beginner's guide to working with vinyl, adhesive vinyl in particular. So today I'm going to be breaking down things that you'll need, things that you might need, and musts to do and not to do when working with vinyl. We're going to take it very slow. We're going to do a simple vinyl project on a little metal sign here, and we're just going to take it slow. And feel free at any point in the video to ask any questions in the comments. I love to go through there and read those and to help you guys and answer any questions. So definitely ask any questions if you have any. And I will also link down below some of our other really good videos for Cricut or die cutting machine beginners. But without further ado, guys, we're going to go ahead into Design Space and I'm going to show you guys the cut file that we're going to be working with today. But before we do that, the most important thing to do is to measure your base, measure your blank, what you're going to be putting the vinyl on, to make sure that it's going to be a correct size for what you size your SVG file in Design Space. So one of the things you're going to need very badly is a measuring tape. Why we recommend a measuring tape and not a ruler is because a lot of things that you will be measuring are going to be curved surfaces like pillows or signs or mugs or tumblers and things like that. So this can wrap around projects easier, and it's a little bit easier to store than a big metal or plastic ruler. So go ahead and just measure the sign that you have. And our sign is about 15¼ inches wide and 10½ inches tall. So now we know our measurements and we can measure twice, cut once, measure 4 times and cut once. Measure is key. Now that we know the size, we can go into Design Space and choose our cut file and show you guys just how easy it is to use. Okay guys, here we are on Makers Gonna Learn, and we are in the cut file category here, and we are also in the sign subcategory in our cut file category. So we're just gonna go down here and kind of just go down the page a little bit and look for a cut file that might look good with our sign. And we know our sign is wider than it is long, so something like that might be good. So this I Love Us right here would be a good one because it is a lot wider than it is long. There's a lot that would be good here, but the one that I'm seeing that I'm liking a whole lot is this one here that says Simply Blessed. So I think this is what we're going to be using today. So you can go ahead and just click that download button right there. And you can see at the bottom of the screen it is downloading, and all you're going to want to do is just click that. It'll open up right here in a little folder, and all you're going to do is click that folder and drag out that SVG right to the side there. And now once you've done that, we're going to go back over to Design Space and we're going to click Upload. Now this is our canvas in Design Space, so it is blank right now, so we're just going to click Upload. Upload image, and you're just going to drag that SVG right in frame there. And now you can see it is uploaded, so we're going to click Save. And now we're just going to click Recently Uploaded Images. We're going to grab that one and insert the image. And here it is right now, and you can see it is very tiny. So a great thing that you want to do is go ahead and work with your height first. So we know again that our sign is 10½ inches long, and that's the entire sign. That doesn't mean that's how long we want our decal. That just means that's how big our sign is. So what we are going to try and work with, we'll do about half that, or excuse me, about 1 inch less than that. So we're going to do 9½. So we're going to come up here to height, and we're going to type a 9.5, enter. And as you can see, it made it very large. So we're going to go down here, right here to this little plus and minus sign here. It's at 100% right now. And we're just going to make that smaller. We're going to go back up to 75. And so now we can see that a height of 9.5 gives us a width automatically to 15.736. And while that's pretty close to the size of our sign, which is 15.25 inches, that's just simply not going to work because we want to put this on the sign to fit a little bit better than that. So what we're going to do is, there are two things you can do actually. You can go ahead and take this right here and drag it down and make the entire thing a different size, or and let's just back up here. So our height, we know we want that to be 9.5. Or you can go over here and unlock this little guy here and measure your sign and figure out how big that you would want this guy. So we know we took an inch off from the other one, so we're going to take an inch off from this one too. So now we're going to put 14 into our width. So a height of 9.5 and a width of 14 with that unlocked. And this is what it looks like. So that unlock feature is really nice for not auto changing the size of the other component, which is the height in this case. So we want the height to stay 9.5, but we wanted the width to change and not the height. So that is what that awesome unlock tool is great for. Now you can get projects to where you can unlock it and make the width different from the height and it look a little too distorted, if that makes sense. But in this particular case, it does not look too distorted. So that is totally fine. So now that you have it sized, that's when you get out your measuring tape and you lay it on your sign again. And instead of doing the entire sign, you do how big the decal is. So by 14, so you're going to lay 14 on the sign and see if you like that. And then you're going to lay 9.5 on the sign and see if you like that. And once you do, you can go ahead and click make it. But to be honest, guys, I think I want ours just a tad smaller than this as well. So I'm just going to take that tool and drag it in just a little bit. And now that I've drug it in, there's really no need to measure because you already know that the max measurement, which was 9.5 by 14, fit the sign anyway. So this one is just going to fit it a little better. So now that you have done that, that is an optional step. You can make it the max size if you want to because you know it will fit properly. I just really want to work with a little bit of a smaller image today to give us a little wiggle room on each side. So I'm going to go ahead and click make it. And we are going to need a 12 by 24 mat today, but please do not let that scare you. If you guys want to make a smaller project, please feel free to do so. It's just with the metal sign that we have today, it is quite large, and using the measurements for a smaller 12 by 12 mat, making the decal no wider than 11.5 inches is just not really something that we want to do today. So feel free to use a smaller sign base and a smaller mat. So don't let the fact that we're using a larger mat scare you. So just continuing on with our tutorial here, this is vinyl, so we have no need to mirror it, but we will always mirror using HTV, using heat transfer vinyl, but we are not using that today. So we are going to just click OK up here and continue down below there. And once that connects to our machine, we are going to select our material. We're going to be using the regular vinyl setting because we are using Cricut brand's removable vinyl in the color black. And we're also, because our blade isn't new, when you have a brand new Cricut and you have a brand new blade, you do not need to mess with the pressure at all. You might even need to give a little less pressure. But today we have been using our fine point blade a whole lot, and it is a little bit duller than it was when we first got it, of course. So we're going to give that a little bit more pressure. So once you do that, it is waiting on us to load in our mat. So we're going to switch cameras and I'm going to show you guys how to apply the vinyl onto your mat quickly and easily, and then we're going to go ahead and load that into our machine. Okay guys, here we are, and this is a large 12 by 24 inch mat, and it's not straight because it's hitting me, and it's a lot easier to catty corner the mat and bring it a little bit closer to you so that I'm like more on top of it and have a little more control. And then here is our roll of Cricut removable vinyl, and a great tip to just start off well. If you're not opening a brand new tube of vinyl, a great thing to do is definitely use this grid system and cut it from your previous project using this grid. It's going to be so much easier for you guys to apply on the mat straight from the beginning when you have cut a straight line previously. So definitely use those guides and cut that straight. So with adhesive vinyl, you're going to place it with the color side up with the backing side down on your mat. Now we're using a blue mat today, which is Cricut's light grip mat. You do not have to use a blue mat if you want to. You're welcome to use a green mat, which is a standard grip mat as well. There's also a purple mat and a pink mat. The purple mat is for a strong grip, and that is for things like balsa wood, basswood, chipboard, and things like that. So that is not necessary or not recommended for vinyl projects. And then the pink mat is for fabrics and felts and things like that as well. So that again is not needed or recommended for this. So for this one, you'll want to use a blue mat or a green mat. If you don't have a 12 by 24 mat yet, again, feel free to make this project smaller with a different base, but our base is quite large, so we do need to use this mat. So what you're going to do is you're going to get pretty close to the mat here. You'll probably see my head in frame, but that's okay. So you're going to line this up on the corners, okay? So keep it on the roll. It's a lot easier to keep your vinyl on the roll. So we're just going to hold these two corners, and we've got the roll like this with the rest of our hand here, because we don't want it to stick down to the mat, because that's just going to mess us up too. So we're going to grab the vinyl like this with our mat here, and we're going to just kind of line up the two little corner pieces. And once the corner pieces are lined up, take your time with that. You're going to go ahead and you're going to press your hands right there. Now, once you've done that, a little trick to making sure there's no bubbles is to flip the roll over, okay? So the roll's flipped over, and now you're going to unroll the roll this way. And by doing that, the vinyl is going to go onto the mat. Number one, it's going to go on straight as an arrow because you have done your job correct up there. And it's going to go on smoother and create less bubbles this way. Now, we need about 14 inches of vinyl on this mat. So you can see the numbers here down to 14. Number 14 is right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop rolling, and we're going to lay our roll down on the mat there. And now, a very easy thing to do is to lay your vinyl down and to take an X-Acto knife if you have it, but we have the Cricut True Control knife. This is an amazing product. We absolutely adore it. It has a lock system. You can interchange these blades. You never have to touch the blade. These are definitely worth the money and more. We use this thing every single day with every single craft project. So definitely check out the Cricut link below and grab this. So we see the 14-inch mark there. So you're going to put your knife on the 14-inch mark, give a little bit of pressure, not too much, and go ahead and cut that, okay? So you cut a great straight line there, and now all you're going to do is pick up your roll and then roll it backwards, and then looky there. You have a great cut mark right there, perfect for your next project on that grid line, and then you have a straight cut on your mat. So your mat is all nice and loaded down, and as an added step, if you wanted to, you can go through there with your burnishing tool. That's burnish with a B. You can burnish the rest of the mat using your Cricut scraper tool. But I have to be honest, guys, we put that vinyl down so well that you didn't even need to do that. There is no air bubbles in this, and if there are, it's from particles on the mat, to be honest. So once you have your vinyl loaded in like this and you know it's all adhered down well, then you're just going to go ahead and load this big old mat into your machine. So we're going to load our mat in, and there is two little, I think they're like little catchers on each side of the Cricut machine, and you want to slip your mat right in between those. So you're going to line up those two little pieces there and slip your mat right in there, and then you're going to press the load button right here that is flashing. So press that button, and the Cricut has hold of your mat. And now what you're going to do is you're going to press that flashing Cricut button whenever it lights up. So it's lit up for us, so we're going to go ahead and press that. But first, make sure there's nothing behind your machine that could inhibit the mat from coming through. This is a large mat, so it will come through the machine and out the back quite a ways. So make sure your Cricut's not up against a wall or anything like that to give it a ton of room and plenty of room to be able to cut successfully. So once you've done that, you can go ahead and press that flashing Cricut button. Okay guys, once that Cricut is done cutting, you will see that load button start to flash again to signal it is ready to be unloaded. So go ahead and press that button, and then we're going to bring our mat over here. Okay guys, here's our mat. It looks like nothing happened to it, but I promise it did. We're going to go through a couple of products you're going to need in this stage of the process. One of those being a Cricut weeder tool. We really like these Cricut weeder tools. They don't last very long though. That is the sad thing about them. The tips don't get very sharp and they start bending and we have to bend them back and things like that. So it doesn't last quite that long of time, but they are definitely good to have. You're also going to need that Cricut True Control knife again, or some type of X-Acto knife. We love this pen weeding tool, guys. It looks like a pen that you write with, but it is not, okay? It has a very sharp point to it, and it is like a needle, and it is very, very good for weeding in between letters and things like that. So that is a nice thing you're going to need. And then you're also going to need that Cricut scraper tool again, or some type of scraper tool for this process. Okay, so now we're going to put all of our tools aside except for our scraper tool, and we're going to burnish once again. So the point for this is whenever you're starting to peel up your negative vinyl, your vinyl that has been cut is going to want to peel up with it because it's just adhesive vinyl. So when you take this and you go through your project and you burnish again, it likes to help to make that vinyl that we want to stay down. So it's helping push it down to the backing of that, to the backing of your vinyl here, and it helps that to stay down and for your negative vinyl to come up a lot easier too. So give a lot of good pressure in there. You can't over burnish if that helps you guys any. So once you've done that, you can do this or you don't have to, especially when you're first starting out. It might be worth it to go ahead and waste a little bit of extra vinyl just so you don't make a mistake. But I can see here that this is where my words end. So I'm going to go ahead and take my True Control knife and cut off a little more of excess of the vinyl here. But you don't have to do that. If you are kind of scared that you'll cut that because it is right there and a little bit hard to see, don't even bother with it. But I'm just going to get my little piece of vinyl here, my little scrap piece here, and go ahead and put that in my scrap bin. And now when you have that little scrap piece gone, you can put the lid back on that. You are done with your X-Acto knife now, your little True Control knife, and now is where the weeder is going to come in. So it can look a little overwhelming. You're not really sure where to start. My biggest tip is just to go ahead and start on a corner. So just grab a little corner here and just give a little bit of pressure. You want to go through the vinyl here, but not the backing. You want to leave the backing there. So just poke through a little bit. And now what you're going to do is you're going to very slowly peel up. And it's great to do this as slow as possible because you don't want to take up anything that you're not supposed to take up. And it's all kind of blurring together and it gets a little overwhelming. So you can just peel up slowly, and once you hit a point and you're like, okay, you know, I think that I'm doing pretty good here, you can go ahead and peel this up and then stop because it's getting a little overwhelming. Grab a pair of good scissors here and cut this off, okay? If you know you're not cutting off anything you need, that's fine to just start cutting. So we're going to cut a little bit of this off. So look, so this is already off and we're going to set it out of the way. We don't need that. We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to work section by section and not overwhelm ourselves. So now we're going to take this piece here and now we're getting into that smaller word up top. So we need to really pay attention as we are weeding. I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can really see what's going on here. But you're just going to weed very slowly. It's wanting to stick down here. So you're just going to help it along there and get that little part out. Now it's going to weed in the middle of this S right here, going into that I. And we're starting to get a lot of excess here. So what we're going to do is make sure that we're not going to cut anything important off and go ahead and snip it. So there's another little piece for our excess pile there. And we're just going to keep going up here on this M here. Keep weeding, and you can see all the letters are down. We're not jerking anything up. One thing to definitely keep your eye on is the dots on I's. We don't have any dots on our I's in this one, but just as a little PSA for future projects, dots on I's really want to stay with your vinyl, with your negative vinyl. So be careful with that. And we're trying to get in under this M, and it's giving us some trouble. So take your little weeding tool here and just kind of push up. Just push up there and it'll just help that pop right off. So this is a lot of excess that I'm getting overwhelmed with here. So snip it off, snip it, snip it, snip it. Easy peasy. So now we're just working along, guys. We're doing great. We've got the majority of it done, just a little bit part left here. So we're just going to take the vinyl, peel it slowly. Make sure you're not pulling out anything you need here. And you'll get faster as you get more confident and as you can, you know, see clearer as to what you're picking up and what you're not. Go ahead and lay that in the pile here. And now we can go in with our Cricut weeding tool and get some of these bigger parts. So just push down a little bit with that weeding tool. Just push down a little into that first layer there and pull up, and then you can just keep all of this here. So now for these bigger parts, it's easy to do it with this Cricut tool here for these bigger ones. But for these smaller ones, that is when this pin tool really does a great job. So you just poke that in there just a little bit, and it just pulls that right up for you. And you can just add that to your little pile here that I've got on my finger. So you just push a little bit. Just push a little bit, and it helps so much to just get those little pieces up for us. It is a great tool that we love to use here at Makers Gonna Learn all the time. I will link this in the description below if you guys would like to purchase one. It is from 651vinyl.com. It's a great tool, and guys, it has a lifetime warranty, which is really awesome as well. But we have one more piece right here in our P. So we're going to go ahead and get that up, and then there we go. So I'm going to bring the camera back out as well so we can kind of see everything. So it's done. Here's all of our scrap. You can go ahead and throw this away. And guys, it has been completed. It has been weeded. It looks really, really good. This is the time to check and make sure every little piece is taken out in between your letters, and I can see that they are. So now what we're going to do, guys, is you have a hard choice, okay? You know that the base we're working with is a metal sign. So we know that it's going to go down pretty quick. It's going to go down pretty smooth. So you have about two choices to work with. You can use regular transfer tape, which is plastic, and it has a lot of adhesive on there. It's great for wood projects and things like that. Or you can use masking paper transfer tape. And this stuff, it's like masking tape, you know, except it's jumbo. It's in a jumbo roll. It's 6 inches by 100 feet, and it's very affordable. Cricut transfer tape is about $25, and this stuff is $14 for 100 feet of it. It's not as large as Cricut, and it's not as strong, but it's perfect for projects like this. So we're going to go ahead and choose this. I will link this down below for you guys. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get our scissors, and we're going to cut a straight line because we want a good straight line to work with. A lot of people like to rip this tape. You can rip it once you get a little more comfortable with it. But to start off with, we're going to go ahead and cut it. So you are going to need that True Control knife too, so go ahead and get that out. So we're not going to be using the Cricut brand transfer tape. We decided to use our masking paper transfer tape. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and roll some out like this, and then lay it at the top part of your project. You can lay the first part down, and then you can get your scraper tool. It's under my mat here. Get your scraper tool here, and just kind of help yourself along, okay? So once you've helped yourself along here, we're going to pull out just a little bit more of that. And then just like we did the vinyl, guys, just like we did the vinyl, we're going to lay that roll down. And now we can see where our project ends. We're going to take our True Control knife and just give very light pressure, just like that, and it just cuts that like a dream. So now you're going to take your burnishing tool and burnish down just a little bit, and there's no bubbles, guys, and it was flawless because we started on one end and worked our way to the other. You can use the taco method is what we call it, which is when you take your transfer paper and you lay it down from the middle out, and you taco it like this and you lay it down. So we'll do that for this method too, just to show you both methods. So for this method, I'm going to kind of measure how much I need of this, and then I'm going to lay it down, get our scissors, and I'm going to cut it. And now what I'm going to do for the taco method is you're going to taco this up like a taco shell, and you're going to start in the middle right here, and then you're going to lay it down from the middle out. So once you have it in the middle, it'll just want to roll on its own all the way out. You can start from the middle, roll it out just like that. So that was both little methods that you could use. Both great methods. And listen, it's totally fine that your masking paper transfer tape is overlapping. That is not a big deal at all. We're just going to burnish this whole guy down a little bit. And now here's a tip I really enjoy. I enjoy showing it to you all. I enjoy doing it myself. And that is that we're not going to remove this from the mat. We're going to remove the mat from our design. So what I mean by that is, just stick with me. We're going to turn the entire mat over so it's upside down. And now instead of peeling our design up, we're going to peel the mat up. So we're going to curl the mat a little bit until we can see our design. We're going to hold our design down onto the surface, our table here, and we're going to carefully peel our mat up, okay? Now scoot your hands in here in the seam and make sure that you're getting all the parts of your vinyl, but we're just going to peel that mat up. Just keep going, and then once your mat is peeled up, you can go ahead and set this big guy to the side. And now that you have our design here, we're going to take our burnishing tool and we're going to burnish again backwards. So while it's still upside down, go ahead and burnish. Burnish this guy down. This is going to help it stick to that transfer tape for us. So now, before we do anything else for this, we're going to bring in our sign, and we have to do some prep work on our sign. It's very important that we prep our sign. And what you're going to do is, we have our sign here. This is a metal sign, and then this is a little pump bottle that we got at the Dollar Tree, but you can find these different places too. We will link some from Amazon down below. This is filled with rubbing alcohol, so keep that in mind. It's filled with rubbing alcohol. It doesn't matter what percent, 50, 90, whatever, and then you're going to take a paper towel here, open up the top, and you're just going to pump a couple pumps on your paper towel there. So now you're going to wipe down the surface of your sign. Now you're probably thinking that we're crazy, but I'm telling you, this is like magic, guys. This will make the vinyl stick to this sign like glue. It's crazy. Then once you've done that, you can put the top back on your alcohol pump and take another paper towel and just wipe it dry. Or you can give it some time to dry naturally. Either way, it's totally fine. So you're just going to wipe and make sure that this is dry. And what that alcohol does, guys, is it takes away any fingerprints, any dirt, any dust that got on this sign, and it's going to allow this vinyl to stick on it way better, because it's basically a sticker. So now we're going to bring our vinyl decal back in, and we're going to start on a corner just like we did before, and we're going to peel up. Now you're going to want to keep a tight grip on this. You're not going to want to just keep peeling like this. So keep your hand kind of close to where you're peeling at, and this is going to help all those pieces stay onto your transfer tape here. So we're just going to peel this back slowly. If a letter tries to come up with you, just help it down. And there we go, guys. So once you have this done now, you can bring your sign back in. Trying to be careful not to touch where I've, alcoholed. And now, guys, it's going to be the tricky part. So you can taco it if you want to and lay it from the middle out, or you can kind of look at it like this and see where you want it. Sometimes it helps to go ahead and trim the sides. So we're going to go ahead and get in here with some scissors, and we're going to trim the sides here of our sign. Just keep trimming. Now I'm going to trim all the way around. And now you can see that it's helped you a little bit be able to see what's going on here. So we're going to straighten out our sign, make sure our sign is good and straight. And then you're going to bring in your decal here. And you can take your time, make sure that it's in the middle. What I would suggest too is, showing your friends this, seeing what they think about it, if they think it looks good and straight. And please make sure that you're holding this tight, because if any of this sticks down, I'm just going to tell you, you're going to have a really hard time trying to pick that back up, because this vinyl loves to stick on signs like this. So just be very mindful about that as well. So I just cut off a little bit more extra to make sure that I'm going to be doing this right. And this is when you just want to take your time and go slow and make sure that you're lining this up correctly, how you want it. And then once you think that you have lined it up the way that you want it, go ahead and let that drop in the middle. Let your grip off there a little bit. So now once that is dropped, go ahead and let go of the whole thing. You're going to start in the middle, go up, go down, then start working your way out to your sides. So go ahead and work that out. Looks great, guys. And this is not going to need a lot of burnishing at all because it is on this sign pretty darn well. So definitely don't worry too much about that. So once you have go ahead and burnished again, you're going to start on a corner, here, like here. We'll start here. And you're just going to peel that transfer tape up. Just carefully peel it up. And if you've done your job right, you're not going to have to worry about anything coming up here. And once that is removed, you have a beautiful vinyl sign here that you created all by yourself. Well guys, I hope that you enjoyed that video on an awesome beginner's guide to working with vinyl. I had a ton of fun walking you guys through some different design space techniques and some awesome tips and tricks for how to really get vinyl to do exactly what you want it to do. If you want to find this metal sign, I'll try and link it in the description below as well. It is Art Minds and it was $10 and that is from Michael's Craft Store. So if you can't find the link or I can't find the link, definitely go in store and look for it. Guys, it turned out so cute. I hope that you enjoyed it and I hope that you all enjoyed this video as well. If you did, give this video a like and be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications when all of these wonderful videos are sent out. Leave us a comment in the section below. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. And I hope you all have a wonderful crafty day. As always, stay crafty, guys. Bye.